We talk about things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, all of that juicy goodness. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get people to kind of give you what you need and what you want. So I have an example. I have a client who texted me earlier today, and she's in my mentorship, and she is, her birthday is coming up this week, and she was feeling like everybody's too busy for her. Nobody's really planning anything or doing anything. And the key phrase that I kept hearing her say was too busy here, too busy there. So I kind of poked her and I said, I want to invite you to ask yourself, are you being too busy for yourself? Are you not slowing down and doing something special for you? And this worked for me on my journey. I'm 42 years old. And back when I was around 35, I started to implement this practice. I was very woe is me and feeling neglected, not feeling loved, not feeling supported. I gave to everybody. I was constantly showing up for everybody else, giving gifts, being supportive, going above and beyond. I was so creative with my gifts and with my support and my love. And I would drop, work. I would drop work to go show up for friends. And then I realized nobody was doing that for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so draining. Like, I feel so unloved, but yet people loved me because I was supporting them, but they weren't like just randomly showing up for me. And when I was in despair, I felt like I didn't have anybody to call. And I shifted it, I changed it. So that's what I want to teach you in this video. I want to teach you how to shift your reality so that everybody and their mother shows up for you, and you're going to be left feeling like, oh my gosh, people are making posts about me. People are sending me gifts via Amazon. You're just going to have people just doing things for you, and you're not even asking for it, but they feel your frequency and they feel your love, and they just want to give back to you because you're leaving them feeling so valued with your energy, not with your gifts, not with your money, not with your you showing up for them. It's just you being you, and you're finally being seen in that. So the first thing that I want you to do is what I called my client to do. I asked her to go within and ask herself, how much am I showing up for myself? Maybe give a percentage. Are you showing up 50% for yourself? 25%, not at all. Maybe you're at 80% and you just need a little fine tuning. So you're going to take inventory, figure out, what are you doing for you? And we have to mimic the behavior that we want to see. So if we want to see somebody, texting us and saying, your birthday's coming up, I want you to be ready on Wednesday night. I want you to wear this type of outfit and set aside 5 hours. And I'm not telling you where we're going, but just be ready at this time. I will be there. So what we have to do is we have to create a simulation. So we're going to do that for ourselves. We are going to set aside 5 hours for us to be by ourselves, taking a bath, reading a book, going to the movie theater, going and getting our favorite treat, whatever it is that you want to do with the people that you love. Create the scenarios first and give it to yourself. The universe and life will start to see you nurturing yourself. It will start to see that you're willing to be alone for a bit, to recalibrate your reality, to invite those types of people in that will treat you that way. And a lot of times, the people that you love, they're the ones that are going to do this for you. And you're activating the change within them to do it because you're the main character of your movie, right? You're the writer, producer, director, actor, actress, everything. You're all of it. So if we change you, then all of the characters that are, what do they call them? Extras in your movie, they're going to reflect that back to you. And it is textbook how it works. So the more we honor ourselves, the more other people will honor us. And a good sign that you can tell whether you're already doing this or not is if you get a compliment, if you get a gift, if somebody sends you money, kind of receive it, but then you're quickly too busy to really let it soak in. So my client received $150 from one of her friends, and he was just treating her. He's like, go buy yourself something nice for your birthday. And yes, obviously a friend could go out and buy that nice thing, but he's being considerate, saying like, hey, I might not know what you need right now, but here's the money to go do what you want. And if I would get that right now from a client, from a friend, from a family member, to be honest, I would get that. And if it came in my Venmo unannounced, I would start crying because that's how open my heart is now. Because it's almost like I've done all this inner work on myself to receive gifts and to receive love for myself. And now my reality is reflecting it by somebody else giving me love. Like I cry in those moments. And there was a version of me before I was, before I turned 35, where, parents would email me and be like, "You changed my kid's life. Thank you so much, Miss Thornton. Thanks for sharing your story with my kids." I was teaching high school, sharing about my daughter Micah and how she passed away and how we have to be the best version of ourselves, and we can handle anything, and being supported in a community and reaching out when you need help. I was teaching my students all of this every day, and it was a health class. So I was like adding it on to the curriculum. Like it was like a life coaching class, and the parents would appreciate it. They would send me so many emails, but I would see the email and be like, "Oh, just another email." And I would just flip through it. I had no open heart chakra. I had no capacity to go into the moment and say, "Wow, that parent just grabbed their phone or grabbed their laptop, sat down at their kitchen table when they could be making dinner for their kids, and they're choosing to email me because they're looking at their kid and saying, this teacher changed my kid's perspective on life." Like as a parent, we want that for our kids. But I was so in go, go, go mode and not really, I wasn't present. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't doing anything to soak in what that actually meant. And that parent was grateful for their kid having a new perspective on life. That's simply all it was. And they just wanted to write me a message saying, "Michelle, thank you. Thank you for speaking up about your loss." And now, when I receive those types of messages or comments on YouTube, I get emotional because I can witness the person in my imagination sitting down, grabbing their phone, taking the time and the energy to fuel me with love and to send me love. And I just think it's the most beautiful act on the planet. So if somebody's sending you $50, $2, if they're tipping you, if somebody's just jumping in your phone saying, "Hey, I miss you. I'm just thinking about you." Think about that. They're in the middle of their day and they're thinking of you. That's how special you are. You've left a mark on somebody where they can feel your energy still, and they want to see how you're doing. And a lot of times when we've been through trauma and abuse, we always see beyond it. We're like, "What do they want from me?" Right? I'm sure you've had those thoughts. And what if we just say, "You know what? If they do, they're not getting anything from me. So let me just take it for what it is. Somebody thought of me and they're reaching out." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let me just soak that love in." And I like to call this, and I've learned from books, that it's called universal love. It's God's love. So if you're sitting back and wanting one person to give you gifts and to give you love, what if God's bringing it in different forms and you're not appreciating it? So that's why we have to see if we're open to receiving. Are you feeling anything in your body when people are complimenting you, when people are writing a beautiful review about your business that you've created? What are you feeling in your body? And are you taking the time to pause and think about that person writing the review? Think about that person saying, "I want to write these words because I want to make that person feel something." That's beautiful. It's human connection. It's why we're here. And if we're not vulnerable, we'll never create these connections. We have to be vulnerable. If I never shared my story with my students, I would have never gotten those parent emails. That's what set me apart from all the other teachers. I was willing to take a risk, because normally as a teacher, you're supposed to follow the curriculum. Well, I was saying, F it. Like, I'm just going to share my story and say, "Hey, if we're talking about nutrition, I'm going to share my story about how I cut out all sugar, all soy, all processed foods, all gluten, all dairy the month after my daughter died. I cut it all out. And guess what? My serotonin was booming. I was so happy. And it was during a time in my life where I shouldn't be happy. So my nutrition was affecting my life in a positive way. And I was teaching about it. So I used that as like a spin-off to teach them about life and to teach them that we're going to have challenges. And what are you going to do with it? Are you going to like just let it crumble you? And then I started to teach them about the ego when I spiritually awakened. And this all is symbolic of you being your most authentic version of yourself, right? When you're putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, you're building connections wherever you are. And now we're testing the waters to see if you're able to receive love from those connections. I was building connections with my students it was rippling into their parents, into their home. Their parents were feeling the love and they were like, we got to tell this woman, we got to tell her how amazing she's doing and that we're so happy that she's sharing this. So that was God giving me feedback to keep sharing it and to not worry about what the principal or the superintendent would say. I always had fear of them walking into my class when I was talking about Micah, but that was just my ego creating a fear, keeping me from doing my mission. But then the emails would come in, but I wasn't open to the love yet. And then when I spiritually awakened and my heart chakra bursted open, I just was like, I would cry then. Anytime an email came in, I sat with it for at least 15 minutes and I would look at myself in the mirror and say, Michelle, look what you're doing. Look who, like, you just impacted this one kid. And that one kid is going to talk to millions of people in their lifetime. And they're going to be different because I said something to them that made them think differently. I opened up their heart. I allowed them to feel something. So when we create that vulnerable moment, we're building a bridge, a connection, and then it has a ripple effect in the world. But we have to be willing to receive it back. We can't just always be giving. Because if we're giving and giving and giving and not able to actually see what we're actually giving and the impact that it's making, you're going to feel lifeless in the end. You're going to feel like a bottomless pit. You're going to feel resentful. You're going to feel like you're not getting anything in return. And that's transactional. And we want to be giving with an open heart. And then when things do come in, we are so grateful. We're spending at least 15 minutes with any gift, any compliment, any email, any text. If somebody writes you a wonderful review, this is your call to action. Sit with it for 15 minutes. Stare at yourself in the mirror and say, this person took the time, like read every word in their sentence and soak it in. This person took the time to tell me how I impacted their life. And that is our mission. We're here to impact others in whatever way we feel called. And that's us expressing ourselves. And this is what will heal what we started talking about at the beginning of this video with my client that wasn't having people show up for her. They weren't celebrating her birthday. She was feeling like everybody was too busy for her. But it's because she wasn't fully actually seeing, you know, what things were already happening. She already had somebody that sent her $150 and was like, hey, go buy something for yourself. Like, that's not somebody being too busy for you. But I could see it as this person's not wanting to go out and get them a gift. They're just giving them the money. But I don't think he had that kind of energy. I think he genuinely cares about her and was like, you're such a great mom. You're so busy. Here's money to support you. So I see that as a gift and I would sit with it for 15 minutes. So your call to action this week is to take in any compliment, any text, any gift. And if nothing is coming in, then you're going to start giving it to yourself. You're going to create the scenario of nurturing yourself, giving yourself a beautiful bath, treating yourself to your favorite meal. And you're going to start to do that. And life and God and the universe is going to be a helicopter watching you do this. And then all of a sudden, you're pressing an easy button on what you want more of. And the universe is like, oh, that's easy. I'm going to then bring them a person that is also going to double down and give them that back. And anytime you're spending money on yourself, you're going to get it back double because you're loving yourself. So feel free this week to spend money on yourself, treat yourself to something yummy, delicious, maybe an experience. I'm treating myself to going to see Abraham Hicks this summer. I cannot wait. And I just know that that's going to feed my soul. So I know I'll get that back, but I don't need anything back because the experience itself will be the thing that I'm getting. But I have to make the leap and the choice to treat myself to those experiences and then be grateful for what unfolds in the process. So if you're wanting to receive things from people, to receive more love in your life, if you're wanting people to change and show up for you, show up for yourself first, and then sit with anything anybody gives you, even if it's the smallest thing, sit with it for 15 minutes and get to a feeling state with it. Feel what that person is actually giving you. And when you do that, guess what? You're focusing your energy on something and that's going to grow. So the more you focus on it, the more it grows, right? Where our intention goes, energy flows. So that is your goal this week. I'm sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to work with me. Everything is in the comments. Have a wonderful day. And you are so worthy of receiving all the money, love, joy, peace, and happiness that you're calling in. Never forget it.